this is not what I'm saying. I'm saying Ruach HaKodesh just comes to my mind. I heard from Rav Wolfson. Rav Wolfson was here in Borough Park. He's from the very, very Choshev Eden. Everyone who knows about him is probably the most respected Yid in Gans, New York. So he's a Geheben Nirid, Mamash a Geheben Nirid. So I was speaking to him. He comes to Miami every year, so I get a chance to speak to him a lot. So he wants to tell him. I asked him an outright question. I asked him, what made you become basically a Chassid of the Rebbe? What made you to become a Chassid? Because he always held of the Rebbe, but he became mamish, speaking to him, the biggest chassid, with such a skashas to the Rebbe. So he says he had many meifsim. But I said, so what clicked it? So he said, I'll tell you this. He had a meaning, he used to go every summer to Eretz Yisrael for a few weeks. So one year he went to Yerushalayim, and he happened to stay in a place which was right next to a shul, which was not used. It was like a churve, not the famous churve, but it wasn't used. It says, Punk, when he went then, one of his grandchildren was sick. And it was on his heart, on his mind. So every night when he would say Krishma Shalamita, he would go to that churve. No one was there, no one knew. And he would say Krishma Shalamita there. And he said, since his Einikl was sick, it was very emotional for him. He would cry a lot. And the reason he went there, he didn't want anyone to see that he's crying. He didn't want his Rebbe to see. So he went there. And he says, when he said in Krishma Shalamita, the Posik, Leiv Nishbar Vanitke Elikim Leisivze, that if you have a broken heart, Hashem doesn't embarrass it, doesn't push it away. He says, for some reason, he used to repeat the Posik many times and cry a lot there. And cry a lot. And no one knew about it. Nobody, not one person in the world. Because it bothered him. When he came from Eretz Yisrael, when he came back home, Sunday he went to the Rebbe for dollars. He used to go pretty often. And the Rebbe gave him $1. Then he tells the Rebbe a broche for my Einikl. And the Rebbe said to him something to this effect. I can't say the exact Lashon, something to this effect. When someone says, Leiv Nishbar V'nitke, with great kavanah, the Eibishter helps. He tells me he almost fainted. No one knew that this was happening. Not even his wife. He said his Rebbetzin did not know. He especially made sure that she shouldn't know. No one knew. And he says the Rebbe said it to him. So he says, this clicked. And he says, this made him into a chassid. And he told me other little stories. Not in the Geya, but everything showed that the Rebbe special, read his machshavas. The Rebbe said things that had to be said, which no one else knew. But this is something that Mamish made him into a chassid, because you see a meifus and you see the holiness that's there.